Hello, and welcome back to Film Flashback, where I take a look at movies and shows to see what makes them great, or what could have made them better. I am your host, MD, and this time, I wanted to review Season 3's first episode of The Mandalorian. I am a huge Star Wars fan, and this show has been a revelation for me. With so much action and such a compelling story, it's no wonder people love this show. But I believe there are three main reasons why The Mandalorian has been so successful. But before we begin, here's your warning that there are major spoilers ahead. First, it has a simple premise. Way back in the day, there was a show that captured everyone's imagination called Heroes. It was about a few individuals who had superpowers, and the driving force of the first season was the mantra, "Save the cheerleader, save the world." That one simple phrase was so easy to understand and made you want to tune in every week to see what happened. It also helped that Sylar was such a great villain to root against too. Some films have overly complicated plots that can be confusing, which, in turn, make people tune out. Christopher Nolan is one of my favorite filmmakers, and Tenet, for me, was more complicated than it needed to be. I still liked the film, but after a few minutes in, most people were so confused about what was going on that they stopped caring. Season 1 of The Mandalorian's focus was also simple: get the child to his own kind. That premise was easy to digest, and it drove the direction of the show. Mando ultimately achieved his goal, which was so satisfying to say the least. Now for Season 3, we have a new directive. Get baptized to become a Mandalorian once more. The final scene of Season 2 showed Mando taking off his mask so Grogu could see his face, something that was against his religion. And in the book of Boba Fett, the armorer explained that since he did this, Mando broke the code and can no longer be one of them. This is a spiritual journey he will face, and I am all for it. It should be simple enough to go somewhere, jump in some water, and voila, you're done. But you know it won't be that easy, and I am so excited to see how this unfolds. The second reason I believe The Mandalorian is so great is because he is a hero we respect. For those of you who watched She-Hulk, we learned that you actually need a likable, respectable lead to have a functioning story. One of the biggest issues with She-Hulk is how the main character, Jennifer Walters, came off as a bratty, self-absorbed individual. It felt like she was more concerned about dating in LA instead of solving cases since she was an attorney. On the other hand, Mando risked his own life to save a child he was supposed to turn in. He could have turned a blind eye and handed the baby over, since he was a bounty hunter following orders. Mando also decided to join the fight in the final battle of Mos Espa because he wanted to help Boba Fett. But because he risked everything for a friend, and the life of a child he barely knew, we respect him that much more. We also love a hero who has mastered their craft, and in this case, Mando is an expert at finding and taking out bad guys. No matter the circumstances, he always finds a way out. Our introduction to this show was Mando, surrounded and outnumbered, still captured his man in a violent and spectacular scene. This was on full display again in Season 3's opening episode when the pirates surrounded him right here. There were a total of 7, and he picked them off one by one. And even when the situation looked really bleak, he still escaped. Now there are times where he doesn't quite get away on his own, but thankfully reinforcements are always there to step in. Respect is earned, not given, and a character who exhibits a set of specific skills is one an audience can certainly get behind. And the final reason why, in my opinion, The Mandalorian is so great is because of all of the various locations we get to see. Every time he needs something, Mando travels to a new and interesting world full of creatures and customs that are completely different from one another. For example, he specifically wanted this droid, IG-11, to help him on his mission of becoming baptized. But of course, he needs one specific part in order to get this droid working right. You know the Mandalorian will have to travel to several unique worlds just to get what he needs. One of my favorite locales so far was in the Book of Boba Fett when Mando went to this planet looking for the armorer. I liked seeing how the sunlight moved across. The detail was just incredible. And he's back at it again in this episode when he travels to see Bo-Katan. Not only was the journey to this world cool looking, but the detail once he lands on this planet was simply amazing. Even when he goes back to visit Greef Karga on Navarro, we can tell how the city has changed so much since the last time we saw it, and it makes it feel like a whole new place. I'm really looking forward to seeing where he goes throughout this season. Okay, of course I have to mention a couple of other reasons why this show is doing so well, and the first is Baby Yoda. Casual fans usually tune in to see cute little babies like this, and this little guy is an absolute scene stealer. And it's so cool that he's more than just a prop. Grogu actually has a character arc of his own that is really intriguing. And second, that great action. The stunts in every episode feel like I'm watching a full-length feature film. But as fun as these two components are, I still feel the aspects of the show I mentioned earlier are the main reasons why this is must-see TV. And there you have it, 3 good reasons why I believe The Mandalorian is so successful. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of this video and this great show. Also, please like and subscribe so you can check out future videos on my channel. As always, thanks for watching.